We're going to a wedding and my mother-in-law has asked me to make her outfit. When my mother-in-law saw this burda matching outfit I made, she said it was ideal for the wedding because it's a wedding in winter, so you don't want to go on a spaghetti strap dress. So the other day when I went in the fabric shop and saw all the remnants I got for 18 euros, one of those was this one. It's a shantung, the boy told me, which is like a satin but is not as shiny on top. And then I got her this one for the trousers. It's a silk and I think it's going to turn out amazing. She loved the idea of the two-piece, but it's not going to be as elaborate as this one, and I'm not going to use the burda pattern. I'm going to trace my own pattern from her measurements. I have to trace the block first, then the pattern, and then cut the fabric. So the fabric I won't be seeing until tomorrow, I guess. And it's not going to be like this one with zippers and buttons and stuff. It's just going to be a wrap dress, a wrap top, and a simple pair of trousers with an elastic band, because anyways you don't see it because it's underneath the blouse. As always, I'll leave you all the links in the description box down below, from the block of measurements to this burda outfit and a wrap dress I made on my own from scratch with my own block of measurements as well. After tracing my pattern, I can start by cutting my pieces and sewing together the bodies by the side seams and shoulders. Then I can add the sleeves and hem all around it. For the trousers, I'm going to start with the center seam so I can then put them right sides together and sew all around it. The waistband has interfacing and it's elasticated, and the finished touch is a sash that can be worn as a scarf. Well, I have my blocks ready. It's just the measurements of the person, and now you have to make the pattern from them. But I'm only going to trace the pattern of the front bodies because it's the one that's going to be in half and it's going to be wrapped. And for that I'm going to use this one of the French curves from the inner side of the shoulder to the side seam. The rest I'll be tracing from the blocks because it's going to be a simple pattern, and the trousers anyways she wants them with an elastic band on top, so I don't need to do much to them. So this is going to be my pattern, and because it's symmetrical I can use it for both sides, turning it round, so I can start cutting the fabric now. It's quite big, it's like 1.40 m, which is quite a lot for only a top, and it was in the bundle of all the remnants I got, so I'm not sure how much it was exactly, but around 6 euros. And the silk was 15 euros a meter and I got 2 meters. So now I have ironed everything on the wrong side, of course. I'm going to start cutting, and I can't help but being afraid of cutting. I don't know when that goes, that fear, but it's still there. I'm sweating now. So much searching. So now that I have searched everything, I'm going to start putting together the outfit right size together, of course. And I'm not going to do the blouse first and then the trousers, because I think that won't be as efficient. I'm going to do all the first seams, so then I can press them open and do the second ones. So I'm going to put the blouse right size together, the back and two fronts, and so shoulders and side seams. And the same with the trousers. I'm going to put the two fronts and two backs together, and so the center seam. That way I can then press it and then go on. I think it's more efficient. I've pressed every seam, and now I'm going to go on with the trousers. And what I'm going to do is to do the inner seam in between the legs. And always when you sew trousers, you sew from crotch to one ankle and from crotch again to the other ankle, because if you do the whole arc, maybe you get it twisted and you don't want that. So always from crotch to the sides. And even though the material is quite slippery, it doesn't on the machine. It's quite nice to sew, so I'm quite alright with pins. This mannequin is quite small, so you can't really see what I'm doing, but this is the blouse. And now with the sleeves, being really careful of which is which, this one is the right one, I'm going to pin it on the side seam of the blouse, of the bodice, and then mark the top so they are quite straight. To hem the blouse, I'm just going to do a double hem, folding twice around the bodice and the bottom of the blouse. But I'm not going to hem the sleeves because I want my mother-in-law to try it on and make sure it's okay. So the sleeves and the trousers I'm not going to hem, I'm going to leave them as they are. The trousers need a waistband. I'm going to cut a rectangle of material that measures the width of the trousers. The length will be the width of the trousers, and then the width will be 8 centimeters. So then when I fold it and hem it, it's just the elastic band width. So I'm not sure if I should add interfacing or not. I have such a thin interfacing here that I think it'd be a good idea, because this is such a slippery material that maybe when adding the elastic band it will wrinkle or look weird. So I'm going to add a bit of interfacing on the front, not on the part that goes to your body, but on the front outside. and that way it will look a bit more structured. So I'm going to cut my rectangle of material, press the interfacing on one of the sides halfway, and then fold it. Once I fold it, I'm going to sew on the side, and that circle of material I'm going to sew right sides together to the trousers on the interfacing face, so that way it's on the outside of the trousers when I fold it in. And then once I fold it in, I'm going to put the seam I just did on the inside and fold on top, and that way everything will be hidden. I'm going to leave a bit open so I can put my elastic band in with a safety pin. And once it's in, I'm going to zigzag stitch the two ends together so it's quite strong, and then finish that little seam. The waistband looks good, it looks nice, and with the elastic band in, it will fit properly. And one thing, I'm not going to hem it because I want her to try it on to see how it fits. If we have to fix something before hemming, which will be much easier. And of course, I'm not sure which shoes she's wearing, or even if she's getting a new pair. So let's leave it just in case, and that way we make sure. And with the fabric I have left, which is not too much, I'm going to make her a sash. She asked for a sort of belt or sash, so the outfit looks more like a matching piece. So with the rectangle I have, I'm going to just fold it in half and sew it together, right sides together, and I'm going to not just make corners like a rectangle, but soften it so it has only a corner instead of two on each end, and that way it looks a bit nicer when tying up. And once right sides out, I'm going to just sew that little piece left. This is how it looks, and with a bit of iron it looks much nicer now, so that way it's not as square. As you can see, the top is still a bit revealing. It needs something to tie it up, and because we have the sash, we don't need another tie. When I made my wrap dress, I made buttonholes on the side, so the straps of material, the ties, could go in those ways and tie it up. But because we have a sash already, what I'm going to do is sew some buttons so she can tie it up on the inside, and that way everything is hidden. Here I am with Marie Antoinette. This is the part where I say I'm so happy with the results, I'm really pleased, but she hasn't tried it on yet, so I'm not sure. I just want to see her in it and see how it fits and if she likes it and all that. But I think the fabrics were amazing to work with, and they really complement each other, even though the silk has a bluish tone in the pattern, but it doesn't affect it because the browns complement this shine it has, the shantung. So I think it looks really good together, and I think with the sash it looks really nice. I hope she likes it. I don't know. Let's see. Here I am with the outfit a few days later. My mother-in-law tried it on, it fits, it's comfortable, but I didn't film her, I don't know why, that was a mistake. So the blouse is comfortable, the sleeves look nice, and the length is the right one, so I can hem them. But the neckline is too close, so it needs to be a bit lower. So I'm going to get rid of this seam, lower it a little bit, draw a new one and hem it again. And then the trousers are okay, but the elastic band is like too loose. It's not that they are wide, but too loose. So I'm going to change the elastic band for a tighter one I have, and then they come a bit wide. They need to be more of a straight cut instead of a wider ankle. So I'm going to change that and then hem them, and that'll be it. Now that I've cut the trousers excess, I'm going to just sew it right sides together as I did before, and you can zigzag stitch it or hem it, finish the seam with your overlocker. Because I'm a bit tight on time, I'm going to zigzag stitch. And to hem both trousers and sleeves, I'm going to do a double hem, which is folding twice and just very thin. I'm going to do it like half a centimeter wide, so it's less noticeable. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever sewn for anyone, and if you get as nervous as me, because I'm really nervous of screwing up, but let's see if that gets a bit better with time. Despite being really careful, once I did the hem on the neckline, it turned out a bit low. So my mother-in-law added a top underneath, which was really convenient because where the venue was, it's always cold. And it was really good because she wore it as well as a cardigan open. So it was really nice as well. If you've come this far, give it a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot, and that way you don't miss anything, because I upload a video once a month, and this month twice. So come on, subscribe. And I leave you here a link of other interesting projects in which I've been transforming my own block of measurements. It's really interesting how you can transform from a block and get like 3,000 designs. And for example, my wrap dress, a simple dress I made, a shirred one, the tweed one I made a few weeks ago, a shirt dress, and a blouse, and then transformed into a dress. Really interesting stuff. Have a look and maybe you get ideas for yourself.